Hello, and a very warm welcome to my channel. This morning, we give you a piece of breaking news. Royal fraud and humiliation. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have pumped thousands of pounds originating from a royal charity into a limited company that is considered a fake charity owned by the Duke. The couple's nonprofit organization, Sussex Royal, and sustainable travel initiative Travelist received a huge payout last year from the charity they ran with Prince William and Kate Middleton. The Royal Foundation was jointly run by the Cambridges and Sussexes until Meghan and Harry split from it last summer, and finalizing that separation involved a payout to the Sussexes' own charities. However, Travelist has been listed as a limited company and is not a charity, with no indication as to what exactly the money from the Royal Foundation will be used for. The foundation is understood to have provided the grant to Sussex Royal when it was a charitable organization of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Daily Express revealed an unrestricted grant of €145,000 was given to Sussex Royal to facilitate the setup of the new charity, and €144,901 of grants were paid to Travelist. However, after the Duke and Duchess of Sussex stepped down as senior royals, they were instructed not to continue using the Sussex Royal brand, and the decision was made for the Sussex Royal Foundation to shut down and make way for their new project, Archewell. However, the launch of Archewell has reportedly been delayed to next year, and the couples are said to be focusing their efforts on the Black Lives Matter movement and the coronavirus pandemic. Now, a source has told express.co.uk that all Sussex Royal funds will be transferred to Harry's sustainable tourism initiative, Travelist. However, Travelist was registered as a limited company on April 3rd this year and has not been registered with the Charity Commission. Disgraceful. They have no shame. So they have effectively transferred all the funds from a charity to a private enterprise company in their own names. How is this possible? I presume the charity funds were donated for a particular purpose, but individuals and businesses, and now they go to a private tourist venture? This needs to be investigated by the Charity Commission. According to Companies House, Harry holds at least 75% of the shares in Travelist. The source confirmed that paperwork has been filed to formally close down Sussex Royal, which will appear on the online public record in the coming days. They added that the charity will enter a period of solvent liquidation, during which the trustees will step down from their roles, except for Harry, who will remain as director and trustee until the process is complete. Questions are now raised over what the almost €300,000 investment in Travelist from the Sussex Royal Charity will be used for following the transfer of funds. The business model for the travel advice company is considered quite vague. All the money currently held under the Sussex Royal name will be moved to Travelist. According to the source, the cost of these oddball charities are loopholes for the super-rich elite, senior bureaucrats, and politicians to get money tax-free. They can claim expenses and unlimited administration fees for their mostly non-existent services. Osborne, when Chancellor, bounces up and down about tax invasion, but did nothing to shut down secret offshore banks and secret closed companies in British protectorates. Travelist Limited is a complete farce. If Travelist goes belly up into liquidation, they personally will lose nothing because Travelist is a limited company. Yet another ruse to kid the gullible into parting with their money. This pair of desperate ex-royals, whose ambition is to grab millions of euros, brings a whole new meaning to conservation. You couldn't make it up. The source said, during its 12 months, the sole program in operation and development at the charity has been the Sustainable Travel and Tourism Initiative Travelist. However, the business model is very vague, and there are no known services or sponsored projects from Travelist, or indeed from Sussex Royal before it was closed. Charity chugging has become a way for politicians and the already wealthy to skim money off the top and funnel it into their own bank accounts. It is unclear what exactly Travelist will be doing with the nearly €300,000 it has now received from the Royal Foundation coffers, once the Sussex Royal funds are transferred. The Royal Foundation wrote in its annual financial report covering the calendar year 2019, published in June 2020, that grant-making decisions are made by the trustees and given on the basis that the projects demonstrate a public benefit. Finally, we start to shine a light on how Harry and Meghan really plan to make the vast amounts of money they will need to support their obscenely lavish lifestyles. We in the UK are familiar with the idea of the highly regulated charity, but the US-style not-for-profit is a very different thing, and we are naive if we don't get to grips with the differences. Money from public speaking, even if they were to have paid engagements every week, is chicken feed for them. The key is to inspire multi-million-dollar donations to their not-for-profit and draw off up to 80% as their management fee. They did the right thing by going abroad. How pleased the Queen must be that they are not here to embarrass her any further. Only a matter of time until the scheming wench dumps the naive Harry, just like she did her other husband. I hope that their fees are not as excessive as their lifestyle. Harry is not very streetwise, is he? 6 months living among real people would do him a power of good. A viewer also angrily said, charity money should be given to the people it was intended for, not a dodgy company that will probably no longer exist in a year's time. The money having been siphoned off into Markle's moth-eaten handbag. Are these two actually paying someone or some company to advise them? If so, they should ask for a refund. It's looking as if they have a death wish as far as the court of public opinion is concerned. Besides that, they pumped thousands into their limited business so that they could live off it and use it to make more money. This is why when William realized what Meghan wanted to do with the Royal Foundation, he immediately split all finances from the gruesome twosome. He was blasted by her sugars for making sure that the foundation stayed honest. However, according to an expert, if the facts are reported are true, then it sounds very irregular that monies derived from documented charitable sources should be transferred into an account for a company listed as being a limited liability. A company listed as limited liability would usually be considered as having been registered to trade for the purposes of a profitable pursuit of commercial opportunities. Does the tax code allow for a commercial limited liability entity to be capitalized with funds that originated from charitable contributions and donations? In the possible unlikely event that it does on a conditional basis, then would there not be a requirement for it to proportionally allocate shares to those who made the original charitable donations in the first place? Does Mr. Sussex intend to dilute his 75% shareholding, for example, in order to accommodate this? There should be genuine concern over this since there is ample evidence as to the materialistically opportunistic tendencies of Mrs. Sussex, and indeed to her other half as well. So this matter ought to be subject to the closest of scrutiny. Oh, what a tangled web we weave when the first we practice deceiving. He concludes, I supposed it must be a difficult life for poor Harry. Expensive wife, having to doss in somebody's house. No job till the car washes can open up again. Does anybody know how I can send a donation to make his life a little easier and save him the embarrassment of being seen queuing for benefits? Meanwhile, a watcher also angrily said, if you need to donate, buy food and drop it off at your local food bank. This way you are helping out your community and you know what exactly your money went to. Good charity is local. As the saying goes, charity starts at home. They think we are stupid, but thanks to the internet, we now know what these charity foundations are. 95% for us, 5% for charity. If I went around collecting for a fraudulent charity, I would be prosecuted for fraud. These two wasters have at least achieved at just one thing. That being because of their behavior, a light has been shown into the dark corners of the royal family, and what we have seen has not endeared them to millions of folk. My God. Talk about falling into a bucket of brown stuff and coming up smelling of roses. These two are now dishonest, scrounging, disingenuous, two-faced crooks. Taking from a charity and pouring into their own venture is surely a crime. Indeed, looking for it on Google, I see that charities are a little-known cash prop to fund the lifestyles of the rich. Due to lax regulations, 90+% of the money donated never reaches the target, be it cancer victims, hospices, wildlife, or animals. Over 90% is channeled into the directors' or board members' bank accounts under the expenses, patrol, accommodation, etc. disguise. These loopholes for the rich need closing. That money does not belong in their pockets. Drain that swamp by tightening up these loopholes. Make it a law that expenses and overheads can only be paid with 25% of the totals donated per month. More money will reach the intended subjects when celebrities like Meghan and Harry are wealthy enough. And you? What do you think about this news? Please let me know in the comment section below and we can discuss. Remember to like and share my video for anyone you think would also be interested, and subscribe to my channel to get more news from the royal family. Now have a nice day and see you in the next video.
Performance fraud, as well as ransom fraud, are things that go against the rules of society, but many because their greed is better than others in society who voluntarily let their own demons rise. Get up. The nature of a person is from the environment that he or she decides, and the rest is that he wants to be. Today, the noble morality that I don't speak anymore. I just say that if Meghan slightly diminishes her dignity, a little of her ego, less greedy, and above all, she ignores her accomplishments. Mine. All of the things I mentioned above equals she wants to be number one in every field.